The Christian Reformed Church is a small Protestant denomination that has the highest commitment to campus ministry of any other Protestant denomination in North America. There is this deep belief that the gospel speaks to all of life, that Jesus is the truth, and that the truth is manifest in all of life, including in the academy.
By the time they get to graduate school, students are no longer in the hometown where they grew up. They're no longer in the church where they grew up. They're probably far from their family. They've probably left at least one close group of friends behind, sometimes 2 or 3. While they might be here for a while and putting down some roots, they're still in transition. And that sense of being always in transition and never quite sure where you're going to end up can be very unsettling. So creating that kind of community to find fellowship, to find relationship, to find essentially a family away from home, or to find a new home, is a key part of what we do here.
So we've had some Christian faculty come in and share about what they're studying, what they're teaching, and their areas of expertise and how that relates to their story and to their faith. It provides opportunities for students to wrestle with issues of academics and intellect and the fields of their study alongside their faith. And there are really very few opportunities and possibilities for people to do that, especially in a secular campus environment.
The risen one is in our midst. Hope has broken through despair. Life has conquered death. And the New Jerusalem, that restored and renewed city of Shalom, is a sure hope and a present reality. So welcome home.
The theology that gets preached here, the thoughts that get discussed, and the openness to discuss it give a fresh look to it and a fresh take to it that makes sense in a way that a lot of what I've heard in conventional churches don't.
You feel very much like you can be an active part of the community immediately, and there is a place for you.
I just saw ways that my specific skill set and my gift, not just used, but valued.
The peace is my favorite part. The priest will announce the peace, and the place then just kind of erupts, and there's chaos, and people go everywhere, hugging each other and kissing each other and sharing peace. And those hugs and those wishes for peace, they get me through the rest of the week.
Wine for Breakfast has been a community where I've witnessed and where I've experienced a shift in a lot of people from a focus on Christianity and faith as a set of beliefs and of thinking rightly, to learning what it means to be a disciple.
And we come together to pray, to read Scripture, and to break bread together. And that's really what worship is all about. Worship is all about shaping the imagination. And worship in the context of the university is also about liberating the imagination. And what we want to ask our students is, in whose service do you do your studies? In whose service do you pursue a field of study, a field of scholarship?
Wisdom calls to us from the crossroads of life. She raises her voice and says, "To you, O people, I call. My words are to all who live. Come to me, you who lack understanding. Hear, for I will speak gracious things, and from my lips will come what is true and right."
You know, being at GCF is helpful just so that we know we're not alone in that, and that we can learn together, you know, how to work through the question of relevance, and then what are we going to do with the information we're learning, and our professional career in terms of our life as a Christian.
A lot of times you hear stories about people who go to university as Christians and they leave not as Christians. When I came to university and I started being exposed to all these different ideas, I was like, oh my gosh, how does this reconcile with my faith? I came in with a lot of questions, and I feel like I left with a stronger sense of faith. That had a lot to do with the kind of knowledge that I was exposed to and the spaces I had to ask questions about that knowledge.
If you ask a student, any student, are they feeling stressed? The answer is almost always yes. I think it's important at the place where people are being formed professionally, academically, intellectually, spiritually, to say, what is that life going to look like? And is it going to be frenetically busy the way our culture is? Are there going to be times to reflect? Are there going to be times to rest, to share hospitality? And so it's central that we eat together. It's important that we come together, that students volunteer to take the time to make a pot of soup, to buy some bread or to bake some bread. That hospitality is really central to what we do. Feeding others. Christ did it all the time, and it's transformative when we do it for each other.
No church has been able to give me the joy of salvation kind of in the way that Wine Before Breakfast does consistently, but it also addresses the hard parts of life.
Brian's been someone who pushes me in a very gentle way, but whose constant, regular presence has been a very powerful shaping force in my life.
We're stewards of the gift of redemption. We're stewards of the story of Jesus Christ. But you cannot be a steward of the gift unless you're also prepared to be a steward of the pain. We also hold the pain of our community, and all ministers do that. We know where the pain is. And so pastoral ministry becomes a very important dimension of campus ministry. A ministry of listening, a ministry of accompaniment, a ministry of holding broken people without presuming to fix them, but holding them in prayer and bringing them before the one who is the great healer.
We're the cultivators of a community of care and of a ministry that will touch people's lives and enable them to go out and touch other people's lives so that the ministry can continue and can multiply and move outwards from here.
For some, coming to Graduate Christian Fellowship or coming to Wine Before Breakfast or coming to have a one-on-one conversation with one of the pastoral staff really is their last shot. It's their last shot at staying in the story, their last shot at remaining Christian. So we create a safe place for those type of conversations, and a safe place not just so that anything can go, but a safe place so that the Spirit can move and the Spirit can transform people's lives.